Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's question has 3 answers, and the third answer is a secret you're going to want to stick around for, because I'm going to tell you how you can maximize your earnings with Pegasus Publishing. Now, let's get into it. The question that was sent in today was, is Pegasus a vanity publisher? Now, this is a very common question, because when you're looking to find the correct publisher for your book, whether you're going to do it yourself or go with a traditional publisher or something in between, you want to know whether or not we're dealing with a professional organization who's going to properly handle your book and maybe increase the number of sales or impress other people with the publisher that you chose to go with. And that is what we're going to get in today with regards to vanity publishing and Pegasus. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Click the subscribe bell if you would like for me to make more videos like this one, and check out below in the description and you will find my 100% free checklist to help you get started on your self-publishing journey right away. So, is Pegasus a vanity publisher? Well, let me get into my story. When I first got started, I just went it myself. I did not try to find somebody who could. It's not like I had a book that I had already written and then was going to look for somebody to put it out. Rather, I was going the opposite direction, which was I wanted to put some of my ideas out into the world, but I needed to know exactly what was the most strategic way of doing that. And it was going to be through self-publishing. And then I got directly into it with Kindle publishing, where I wrote the book a certain number of chapters a day until I had the book produced, and then I was able to put it out there and learn how to do ads and learn how to all sorts of marketing around the entire thing in order to get the sales to go up. Initially starting with complete failure, and then over time learning how to increase the amount of sales on my books. So one thing, though, along the vanity publishing side of things was I listened to a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube, read a lot of books, and one of the things that became clear was that there are companies out there that specifically, and I'm not referring to Pegasus here, but specifically say, oh, your book is wonderful, just send us money. And then after you send them some money, they say, oh, we see the sales are not so good, so you need to send us some more money. And if you want to upgrade the package for the cover, then we'll need more money. And if you want to upgrade this, and at the end of the day, they're also taking, let's say, a very high percentage of your royalties from you. And so we continue the game, and you're like, I'm never making my money back. It's only costing me tens of thousands of dollars that are going into this, and I'm never seeing any money at all come back. And then people would say, and the worst part was when they said, this is a scam, I want to get out of it. They then found themselves in a position where the rights to the book were actually underneath this vanity publisher, and they couldn't even get the rights to their book back without a big legal fight and paying them even more money to get it back so that they could then start to actually earn money on their books, and the really negative experience. And so I completely feel and understand the pain associated with making the wrong choice when it comes to vanity publishing, and maybe perhaps with Pegasus, which was not one of the companies that was being discussed on the podcasts, books, and YouTube videos that I was watching at the time on this one. So let's get into it. Is Pegasus a vanity publisher? Well, the answer is yes and no. No, in the sense that when you send your manuscript in, many of the people who have gone this particular route, they've been rejected by Pegasus when they do it because of the quality of their book. So in a sense, they're working as a gatekeeper. The traditional vanity publishers will simply accept any book that comes in and then start charging you, and their entire basis for making money is by upselling you on one after another thing that you can get with regards to their marketing services or their production services or editing or proofreading or covers or descriptions or keywords or all of the research and all of these sorts of things. And then they'll also take royalties at the end of it. So you end up with this really nasty negative experience. But many of the people who went with Pegasus have not had that in that sense. But on the yes side, It's not like they're giving you a huge bonus to start doing it. In fact, many people who have gone with them had to pay £2,300 just to even start the process. And then after they had paid that money, they then did in fact help them get a lot of the mistakes made. Some people complained a little bit about some of the mistakes that were left that were not fixed with proofreading services and such, but they were able to get the book actually published out there with the covers and everything looking great. But then they would get some crazy high percentage of the royalties that would be coming back. And this was, I think it was like 50% or something. You can correct me in the comments if that's incorrect now. Everything changes on a regular basis with these companies. And so, but the royalty percentages were actually were pretty high that they would take in addition. So then the question was, well, would you ever get your money back? And many readers that I found writers who had come this way and had chosen to go this route, they found that they wanted to pull their book out of this particular company and just do it themselves because they made more money going in that particular route. So, but people said it was a mixed experience. It wasn't just like everybody saying, oh, this is terrible, a scam or something, but they did say we pay all this money up front and such. And they did not accept every book that was submitted, so that they were doing some checking with regards to what they were accepting. But when they did, you would pay them as opposed to like a traditional publisher getting paid a bonus to write the book for them. So it would go as opposed to that direction. You would end up having to pay there, you'd pay for all the marketing services. And then at the end, some people felt not so satisfied with regards to the after experience when the book was actually out in print, that they were not doing so much promoting and marketing of the book at that point. And so the second answer for today is that the fees are much higher than you would get if you self-published yourself. But our secret answer for the day is telling you how you can make the most money with Pegasus publishing, right? And that is the fact that you will make a lot more money if you do everything yourself. But if you have the money, but not the time or the motivation, then Pegasus publishing is a perfect solution for you. And especially when we see that people were not so negative about the overall experience. It wasn't like some of these scam publishers where they just keep dinging you for money and at the end of the day you're making nothing and they don't even have a clue really even how to do marketing. Their whole point is making money just by upping it, and you're never going to go back to them again. But then they use that money to fund their marketing to bring more people in, more suckers come in. And that is not what is happening with Pegasus. So this is definitely a good place to start if you simply don't have the time or the motivation to go about doing it, because it is better to produce something. And maybe for your future books, you decide to do it alone, but just getting that book out there at all can be very motivational. And the fact that they do say no to some of the manuscripts that come to them, they're not willing to work with them, that shows also that they are more reliable as opposed to just, we'll take whatever you want and we'll put any garbage you can create and shove it onto the market, which is not what they're doing. So I'm not saying anything negative about Pegasus. I'm just simply saying that you could do better if you do it yourself by following the simple steps that I have listed below in the description on that free checklist that I have there. So, is Pegasus a vanity publisher? What have you found? Go ahead and let me know below in the comments. I would really love to hear. Maybe you had great experiences with them, or maybe you didn't have such great experiences. I respond to all comments that are left below. I love to hear from you. And check out above me here for more answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.